Hi, this is Terry. Welcome to the section of the series on relaxation, clearing, and grounding. And I want to take a minute before I go into the actual exercises to just introduce some of the information and some of the reasons behind these techniques and activities. And back when I was a student and learning different modalities, there was a lot of emphasis on stillness and meditation and that kind of clarity that comes with it. And I always struggled with meditating, with the idea of sitting quietly, clearing your mind, focusing on the candle, and losing track of everything except the present. And so I really just thought it was something that I didn't really have as a capacity and something that I wasn't good at. But over the years, I really spent some time studying and delving into some of the underlying ideas. And first question I kind of came across and kind of had to clarify for myself, which is, what is the purpose of meditation? What does it accomplish? And I came across some information on meditation and brain scans that were done of Zen monks when they meditated. And what they found was that the areas of the brain no longer kept firing randomly, that the brain found a stillness. So there really is a very clear neurological, biological shift that happens when we meditate. So I understood from that it's about learning how to focus and quiet the mind. And one of the things I know in the Zen practices, they'll do sand painting meditation, where they move one grain of sand at a time. And they will spend a long duration of time building this beautiful portrait, this beautiful pattern. And then when they're done, they will erase it, because the purpose wasn't the accomplishment of the product. The purpose was to have the focus of the mind, to be very present in the moment. And that also helps to still and focus the mind. And I think neurologically what that does, by having one area of the mind that has a clear and yet not taxing task or repetition, the rest of the mind and the brain, physiologically, neurologically, can relax. So it's a kind of form of training the mind to shift into a pattern where there's a clarity, where it's not random. And so I understood from that it's not just about stillness, that there are other ways that we can accomplish to reach the same goal. An activity can accomplish this. I think running with that steady beat and a rhythm that someone attains can accomplish this. There are many ways to find that still place where we're able to quiet the chatter. And the kind of working definition that I've come up with for meditation for my own purposes, focused awareness with relaxation. And so I've got several techniques and activities that I've adapted, but using breath work, grounding, some Tai Chi, and some other activities that really help to instill a slower tempo into the body and into the brain and into the mindset. And so for those people who really aren't good at stillness, this is a really valuable tool to have. I remember reading in a book about different blood types, and there is some solid science behind this to back it up, but what it talks about is how different blood types have different predispositions for how they release stress and stressors from the body. And for example, in this philosophy, in this theory, in this approach, O blood types actually purge stress from the body more effectively through exertion, through exercise, through activity, through things by which the body's metabolism is raised. That isn't to say that an O blood type person is incapable of learning how to meditate effectively, just that they're probably a little bit more predisposed to let their body relax and come out of that stress mode more effectively through activity. So a lot of the exercises that I use are actually physical based. And even though it's not the exertion of running a marathon or swimming for an hour, both of which have repetition and activity, and I think that, say, for example, swimming and running, it's a combination of activity and repetition, where the mind just becomes kind of lulled into a rhythmic pattern, which helps it to still, much the way that focusing on your breathing helps some people to really still, or focusing on one grain of sand at a time really helps someone to stay present and to be still. And when I say still, I don't necessarily mean physical stillness, I mean an inner stillness, a stillness where the mental chatter and all the information that usually goes running through our brains can just quiet down. And it's not so much that we're pushing it aside and suppressing it, it's that by entraining the brain to have that place it automatically can shift into, that chatter is just no longer there. It gets quieted, just like a little child that falls asleep. We're not suppressing it, it's naturally just dissipating. And that, I think, is the goal of meditation, to let that stress, to let all of that pent nervous energy, unexpelled energy, dissipate. And when we've done that, we find that our minds are clearer and our bodies and our lives are more productive. So for all of the people who haven't really had a lot of success with meditation, I really hope that you'll try a lot of these techniques and find one or two that work for you. Most of them are simple, and once they're learned, they can be done in a few moments, because once the body and the mind are entrained, the body shifts very readily. I'll start to do a breathing exercise that I do on a regular basis, and within a few minutes, under 5 minutes, I'll be driving down the road and my speed will shift from, I hope I don't get a ticket, to I'll look down at the speedometer and realize I'm not even going the speed limit. And it's not intentional, but everything just slows down and that tension dissipates and it gets expressed through the speed of the car. So, as I said, these are things that can be done anywhere. It can be done when you're driving. It can be done when you're doing something else. It can be done during a commercial break and watching television. It can be done at the computer where you just stop and pause for 3 to 5 minutes. So there's 3 or 4 different exercises that are breath work, grounding. Some of them incorporate Tai Chi. And I'll go through an explanation of each and a guide of each, and then I will have a longer guided session of each. The introduction and the walkthrough will probably be 3 to 5 minutes, and each guided session will probably be anywhere from 15 to 25. So enjoy, embrace change, play well, and bring that relaxed creativity into your life.